Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Jessie Snyder and this is Sunny Days Events and Rentals, Juneau's premier wedding and event specialist. If you're enjoying this channel, don't forget to hit subscribe and click the bell icon below to be notified every time we post a video. On this channel, I'll be talking about which aspects of your wedding you can DIY and which are better left to the pros. Tomorrow, March 21st, is National Fragrance Day, and I wanted to talk about candles. Most people already think about candles in their wedding decor, but they don't really think about candles as a wedding favor. A lot of times the favors that brides and grooms get for their guests and have so thoughtfully incorporated into the theme of their weddings are not gifts that the guests really want. Beautiful hand-etched glasses with "I went to the wedding of Joe and Sally" really don't make sense in my cabinets. I want my dishes in my cabinets, not the dishes of the people's whose weddings I've gone to. So when I think of gifts that guests actually want to get, they're consumable products. Food, cookies and truffles, yum and good, perfect favors. The other things I like are candles. Candles can be customized to your wedding. They can include your personal flavor and scent. I know flavor is a little bit of a taste thing, but they can include your scent, but they can also include dried flowers that are in the theme that will be included in your bouquets. I'm going to be showing you how to create these absolutely lovely favors that you can include on your tables. And how lovely would it be to receive this candle at your place? So let's get started. First, let's talk about some of the supplies you're going to need. A lot of times when you're shopping on Amazon, you can buy DIY candle making kits, and they'll come with melting pots, they'll come with wax, they'll come with wicks. Those are great, but we're a little more DIY on this channel. So I had soup for lunch. All I did was pry down the edges after I washed it off. I also gave it a good squish, so I have a pouring edge. And then ta-da, I have my own DIY wax melting kit. You'll also need a small little quart pot to do some double boiling with your wax so you don't ruin one of your actual good cooking pots. The other thing you'll need are candle forms. I really like these see-through candle pots because they allow your guests to see the favors and they won't get damaged when your guests are coming to and from your event with their favors. Then you'll need some wicks. These are some super long wicks, but they can quite easily be cut down for your needs. And of course, you'll need some wax. This is some chipped soy wax that is quite easy to melt on the stove in your double boiler. Next, you get to pick the fragrance that you like. I have chosen Cinnabon and Lilac, so I can make two different flavors for my candles. If you're going to make two different flavors of candles at the same time, you'll need 2 soup cans to make 2 different batches. You can't melt all the wax for all of the candles and then pour some of the flavor in and then expect to be able to use the rest of the wax for the other flavor. So you will need to do it in a 2-step process. Then finally, on top of all of that, you'll need to figure out what you would like for your decoration. I have a couple of dried flower sachets that can quite easily be used on top of the candle. You can also use some sea salt that has a really pretty crystal. This you can purchase at Costco or pretty much any grocery store. And then one of my favorites are these chip beads. These are tourmaline. You can use any sort of chip beads, sea glass or natural stone, and you will get a really beautiful, lovely effect on your final product. So now that you're ready to make the candles, the first step is to melt the wax. And I carefully pour in about 1/3 of a cup for each candle tin that I'm going to make. And then carefully put the the can of wax inside your double boiler with water. Once the wax is done melting, simply remove your double boiler from the heat. And now you get to add the scents that you want. I chose lilac for this one, and I'm just going to drop in about 10 to 15 drops. And this allows the candles to have a wonderful scent for your guests. This is very important that you have placed your candle forms on a cookie sheet. And if you are 100% confident in your skill and ability, go ahead and omit this piece of paper. This is a paper towel, wax paper, anything, tin foil, anything underneath your cookie sheet, because you are apt to spill. Very carefully with a pot holder or a pair of pliers, grab your tin melting can, then simply pour the wax into your candle. As the wax is solidifying, you'll be able to have some time to place your wick inside the candle. Then you'll set your candle aside and it will cool, and then you'll be able to decorate it. Once the candles have dried, then you can go ahead and add the decorations on top of your candles. I really like to have a crescent moon design around the wick on the outside of the can, and I think it's a very beautiful and elegant touch to the candle. So to start, just grab some of your tourmaline beads and just drop them in. They're just going to lie on the top, and I'm just going to, they're just going to lie on the top, and I am just going to fill it up with however much I want until I get the kind of shape and design that I really like. And you can, and I've just filled it up with the sea salt. It's a very similar product, a very similar process. Just dump some out into your hand. I do not recommend sea salts that are too big because I believe it will throw off the scale of the whole candle. So just set the ones that are too big, that are aside, and just lay in the sea salt as you like it. The dried flower pieces are a little bit more fun, and you get to be a little bit more creative with these. I start with the smaller pieces, and I've got some lavender here. I'm just going to dribble some on in my crescent shape. Oh, and this smells so good. And then I have some dried jasmine. This is my mid-size piece. And you're just going to put a few. And I always like thinking about my end aesthetic. And then the final one that I'm going to use are these dried mini rosebuds. And because these dried mini rosebuds are so big, I only like using one per, but at the bottom of the bag, some of the petals have broken off, and I love throwing in those little bits to give it a more full look. In order to set your design into your wax, you'll need to melt the top layer of the wax so you can gently press your decorations into the wax. I have found the easiest way to do this in mass is to set your toaster oven over to broil with no fan. You just want the heat from the top of your oven. Turn the temperature to broil, turn the temperature on, and place in your tray of candles. This is going to broil for just a minute or two, and you'll need to keep an eye on your decorations, opening up the door every couple of minutes to check to see if it is done. Then just open up your toaster oven and pull them out just to take a look to see if they are. Indeed, the wax is all set. The chipped beads and the sea salt easily just melt into the wax, and you don't need to do much with those. The dried flowers do require a little extra finagling, and you just need to push them down, and their wax does not seem wet enough, so I'm going to remove the chipped bead and the sea salt. I'm going to just put this back in the toaster oven. And when the wax is better melted, just press your flowers. And be very careful at this point, because the wax is going to be hot. And then all you have to do is let the wax reharden. Once the wax has hardened for the final time, the last step is to simply cut the wicks. And screw on the lids. And there you have it. You have these lovely candles that are a wonderful favor for your guests to be placed at their place setting during your reception. As always, the products that I have for making these videos will be available for sale. I will include a link below so you know where to find these specific products. If you'd like me to make your favors for you, I would be glad to help you with your wedding. I'll also include a link in the description below so that you know where to contact me to make your favors in bulk. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned a few tips and tricks along the way. Thank you, and have a sunny day.